All right, after 6 long years, the UFC is finally coming back to the city of Atlanta, June 14th at State Farm Arena, Usman and Buckley. And what an incredible fight card we're going to have, and what an incredible main event. And half of the main event is alongside me right now, Joaquin Buckley. What's up, man?
Man, I'm feeling good. Actually, this is my first time in Atlanta, right? And I'm glad to be on this card, with the UFC, coming back. It's been like 6 years, I feel like, man, they got the perfect show on their hands with me versus Usman. So I'm just happy to be here.
I'm curious, you mentioned it's your first time in Atlanta. Obviously, we're a massive city down here in the South. Your first impression of the city, why do you think it's cool that they're coming to here?
First off, the people here, as soon as I landed, everybody was just so helpful. Atlanta just having the biggest airport, right, in America, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was hard to kind of get through and navigate just to get to baggage claim. But, a lot of people helped me out, and got me through that process, even from the drivers, giving me selections of what I should eat and what we should do, and just like the people that actually, as soon as I got here, you already know we got a big fight, right? I got to put that work in. So literally, reaching out to people to figure out what gym to go to. Had a guy named EJ reach out to us and said, hey, bro, we got a facility for you that's not far away in Stonecrest, I believe. And we went over there. They had everything that we needed, and they took good care of us. So, Atlanta been real good to me.
I want to say, is that unique? You go to these new cities. How worrisome is it for you when you show up to a new spot and just try to make sure you've got the correct facilities? And to have that here in Atlanta, how cool is that?
It's very cool, right? Yeah. Because, a lot of times we already just in the hotels, and a lot of times the hotels don't have exactly what we need. So, it's nice to have people that really reach out, right, and really show, the city, off by like literally, bringing us out and giving us a great experience, right? Because, the place that I'm talking about in Stonecrest, they have everything available from the sauna, from the gym, even a place where you get a massage at, So everything and all the essential things that I need to be comfortable, to get myself to the fight, they was taking good care of us.
I'm curious, the last time you fought was in a city that had not had the UFC in 5 years. So, to be on another card where you're going to a city that hasn't had it in a long time, first off, what are some of the challenges of that? And also, how exciting is it knowing that you're a person that continue to put on these cards and make sure they bring people to an event to make sure they show off the UFC in the best light?
I think in my personal opinion, I think the UFC know what they're doing, especially with the type of fighter that they have. I'm willing to promote. I'm willing to go out there and give it my all and just kind of tell the folks who I am. But bigger than that, right, I go up and show out in that cage, And I feel like with the, anticipation and the UFC not being here in a long time, I feel like me going out there and doing what I do best, that's what's going to get the crowd excited. That's what's going to get the people back behind me. And I feel like they got the right person for the right main event.
How do you kind of strike that balance of being both a showman but also making sure you kind of lock in and making sure you're handling your business? Or is it kind of a mix of both where your fighting style is the thing that kind of brings that showman aspect?
Well, I feel like, all these things are necessary, right, to be a professional, right? Not just an athlete, not just a fighter, but to literally be a businessman where we sitting right here and we speaking about the fight. And I do things where, yet again, I stay focused on my fight camp. So we was up at 3 o'clock in the morning putting in work, right, before we even got here. So I always make sure that I get my training in between those times where I have to promote, I have to do content, right, and get the word out. So we always making sure we still stay focused.
It helps that you're fighting a man that has a big name in his own as well, a legend in the sport, a former champion.
Yes, sir.
Kamaru Usman. Curious, man. You decided to call him out a couple other fighters after your last fight. You gave it up to the fans to give them the decision to decide who you were going to fight. And in that moment, they said it was him.
Man.
For it to actually happen, it's not up to you necessarily.
Yeah.
For it to actually happen, what is this moment going to mean?
It means a lot because, like you said, it's not up to me, right? And at first, I used to think it was up to the matchmaker, but it's the fans, it's the people that watch this sport that select who is going to fight who. And like the more people that make the most noise, right, for a certain fight, that's what the UFC is going to pay attention to, right? So me going out there and fighting Kamaru Usman and giving the fight that people were already wanting, right, is even going to make a bigger case for me to go fight for that title. Because I know once I do what I do to the former champion in Kamaru Usman, who could arguably be a future Hall of Famer, right, it's no doubt that I should be able to take the throne. But it's only up to the people whether I fight for that title or not.
I'm curious. He hasn't fought since 2023. So is there a different type of preparation you have to do for a fighter? You haven't seen any of their film in a long time. And especially for a guy, there's a lot of film on tape.
Yeah,
He's been successful for a long time.
Right.
Is it different knowing that after a long break he could look something different?
That's a great question. He's on the in 3 losing streak right now. So he got knocked out by Leon, lost to Leon, and then lost to Khamzat Chimaev. But I feel like a lot of people look too much into, you know, the losses. But look at what he did in those, you know, that Khamzat fight, right? With somebody with being undefeated in Khamzat, being at 185, and on 10 days notice,
short
right?
Notice, yeah.
On short notice, and still being able to get through that fight, right, and go to a decision. I feel like I got to look at that bigger than just taking an L. You know, he was still in that fight. So I think Kamaru Usman is still a world champion, you know. And be honest with you, we're training for the best version of Usman, not the worst. So I feel like with all the preparation I've been doing, you know, I've been training for the fight of my life because that's exactly what I'm going to be in. It's going to be a war.
You've been fighting really well recently. 6 straight wins for you. As you head into this fight with this man, what do you think a win on this stage against this person could do for your career and your? Do you think this should be your potential? Should you get to a title shot right after this win?
Yes, sir. So right after this fight, I truly believe we can all speak things into existence. And for the longest time, I've been telling people I'm going to take the throne. I'm going to take the throne. And a lot of people might think that it might be by force, right? Or like I'm going to steal that opportunity. But no, I've earned that opportunity, right? And when it comes to taking the throne, yet again, you have people behind you, right? You have a community behind you that's going to push you and get you to where you're trying to go. And I feel like for me, at the end of the day, the UFC fans are the ones that's going to put me in a position to fight for the title because of how hard I fight and the performances that I give them every single time.
Usman's only been knocked out once, and it was, of course, in that fight against Leon, that first title fight. The first of those 3 losses that you mentioned. You have a lot of knockout power. You've shown it a lot recently as well. What makes you believe that you can be another person that adds that second KO to his resume?
I truly believe I can do that because this it's just what I'm known for, right? I'm very explosive, very aggressive, always trying to meet you in the center and look for the knockout shot. But the reason why I know that I can do it is because, yet again, what's on the line. Like, when you put all the chips on the table and you all in, you can't help but have fireworks at the end of the day. So I truly believe that I can get a knockout over Kamaru Usman in this fight.
You fought a lot last year. A little bit of a layoff for you finally. 5 months off. I guess off is
right.
subjective.
Right.
Last time in the cage. I'm curious, what does that kind of do for you, your mindset, how you feel physically heading into a fight like this?
It was necessary, I think. You know, that time off, I was in 2024, the most, you know, the hottest fighter, you know, that was active with 4 wins, getting a knockout on 3 ranked opponents. Like, that's unheard of, right, within the UFC roster. So with that being said, I think I needed that break and that reset, you know, to really kind of get things established, you know, with my team. You know, I got my manager, Todd Miner, Sagoon. I got my assistant, Rocky, my solid foundation, my full, you know, team. And, like, we really had to get things organized, you know, because we still trying to build at home in St. Louis. So I'm really not still at a gym necessarily, right? So I'm working with everybody individually, but this fight right here kind of opens up doors and opportunities where now I can build, right? So, you know, brick by brick, man, we just been laying down this foundation, man, and we finna build something great, you know, but first we got to get that win June 14th.
You've been building up to this moment for a long time, your entire life working towards moments like this. But I'm really just curious, how do you end up going into a field like this, man? I mean, you got to be a different type of beast, a different type of animal to decide to get into this life. What is it about fighting that keeps you locked in and wants you to keep doing this?
That's a great question. A lot of people will think that you have to be mean or, you know, have anger, you know, to be a fighter. But really, what I love about it, like, you really get to know who you are. Not just mentally, not just physically, but spiritually, you know. And with me going down my path and finding a relationship with God, you know, I really feel like, you know, this whole time that he's been kind of putting his hands on me. Because before I became this big star and the guy that you see on the screen and me being here, I was by myself, right? And I was walking a path down a road by myself, which I thought I was by myself, but I had God with me the whole time, and he kind of was pushing me and leading me in the right direction, which led me to the people that I have today in my life that got me to this moment to be in the UFC. So with all that being said, you know, I really feel like it's a spiritual thing, and I learned so much about myself, and I realized I have a warrior spirit every time I step out into that cage, and it's, you know, it's just something that, you know, it can't be matched.
you get to experience something that a lot of people don't get a chance to experience. That walk out into the cage, that energy, you get to pick the music, the people are coming around you. The first time you came to the UFC was kind of on short notice after you left the old fight promotion that you were with. What has it been like being in the UFC, the differences between that, Bellator, and everything else?
It's been a ride.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it's been a ride. But it's been good, right? It's been one heck of a journey to get to the point where I'm at right now. But, there was a lot of bumps, in the road for sure. I took some losses, right? I had to literally change my whole mentality, had to change my whole routine in order to be on the winning streak that I am now, to be at a new weight class at welterweight, right, where a lot of people had me written off and thought, I was a journeyman or I was going to get cut in about 1 or 2 fights. But literally I didn't focus on that noise, right? I just made the adjustments. I made the changes, right? And now that I did that, you can see where my career is leading now. Like I said, being from welterweight and fighting, on a 4-fight winning streak, now into a 6-fight winning streak, going to lead me into a 7-fight winning streak against Kamaru Usman, which eventually is going to lead me to the title. See, what a lot of people fail to realize, a lot of my peers in the 170 division, they whole career, we all got the same amount of fights, but I did that within 1 to 2 years, right? And the pursuit and the passion and ambition, right, it doesn't lie. And I tell people all the time, your work don't go unnoticed. You just keep working. You just keep working. No matter if you got setbacks, right? Because a lot of guys, they allow that to kind of deter them or slow them down. No, learn from it, right? And once you learn from it, it actually going to make you better. And if you're better in fighting, woo, you're a dangerous boy, So with that being said, I think all my losses have prepared me for this moment right here where now I'm in the main event. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. And, like I said, June 14th, I'm just looking to show the crowd exactly who I am and what I'm made of.
What was that decision like, deciding to go to welterweight?
I knew I had no choice.
Okay.
I had to make a change.
Yeah.
Right.
Do something different.
I had to. Right. I was 5-4 at middleweight. My last fight that I had at middleweight was against this guy named Chris Curtis. It was a great fight, very competitive. I thought I was winning, but at the end of the day, it just take one shot, right?
Yep.
And that one shot, I was like, okay, look, I feel like I'm a 50-50 fighter here at this. 170 was always my weight class before I even got into the UFC. I just took on the middleweight division because it was the opportunity, right? Because sometimes you don't want to waste the opportunity because you never know when you're going to get in.
Want to get in the door.
Exactly, right?
Okay.
So with that being said, I just knew, I was like, man, I got to make a change and I got to give myself a fighting chance, right? And 170, best thing I ever done.
I was say, do you feel like you size-wise that it's easier to go up, or has it been more difficult to go down? It's
in between, but like I said, the way I work, we make the hardest part look easy.
Okay.
Even with the weight cut, shout out to that. We plan on doing an open workout at Lions Cage MMA that's in Stonecrest. Okay. But more details on that later. But regardless, people will see the process of what it takes in order to be a fighter and what it takes to get that weight down. Because I feel like a lot of guys that cut weight, they they eliminate the hard work from it, right? Where they just try to relax, they sit in the sauna, do a hot bath, right? Me, no, we cutting the weight off by moving and by reacting. So I could fight at my most depleted, right? And a lot of guys can't say that. And with that being said, it's just like, how you gonna beat me when I'm rehydrated, when I'm at my best now? Because yet again, I have trained all the way up into this moment, and I have prepared myself, not just for a fight, but for a battle, for a war, and yeah.
You do one Google search on your name, there's a knockout that pops up pretty quickly at Impa Kasanganay. This was back in 2020. It was the knockout of the year. It's maybe one of the most vicious knockouts anybody's ever seen. I mean, people who don't know this sport have seen that knockout. When you think back on that moment, I'm sure people ask you about that knockout all the time, right? What is it that you normally say? I mean, is that something that you practice? How did you know to make sure to do that spin kick like that,
So with that kick, it's going on about 5 years now. It's
crazy.
Crazy, right? But that was kind of like the introduction to me, right, within the UFC. That was my second fight that I had. So, you know, it was a blessing and a curse at the same time because, you know, even though a lot of people knew my name, that's what they expecting from me all the time now, right, when they see that kick. But, you know, I never sparred or used it on a person. I used to just train that kick over and over on a bag, you know. And I felt like, you know, yet again, you got to be creative when you fight, you know, and you have to be innovative when you fight. So literally, I feel like every time I'm in there, like I'm creating this canvas, right, and this painting, and whatever comes out, you know what I'm saying, it's going to come from the heart. And just at that moment, right, the stars aligned for me to pull that move off, you know. So it was a beautiful moment, but, you know, I don't know if we ever see that again.
I'm going to say, do you like that kind of follows you now? I mean, it's an incredible moment. Or would you like to kind of put that in the past and show people what you are now?
Well, I think what people have to realize and take from that, you just never know what to expect from a Buckley fight, right? Whether that's my fight, whether that's my fighting, my content that I put on social media, or my fight performance speech, right? Like, you never know what to expect from me. So I feel like, yet again, as a performer, as a fighter, as a warrior, you know, yet again, I'm here for the fans.
I think really my last question is not really necessarily a UFC question, but you mentioned content and social media, everything like that. A major conversation recently, 100 men versus a gorilla. Where do you kind of land on that? How, maybe is that something that you think that humans can kind of get done? Because I feel like a silverback gorilla would be kind of a beast.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna say this right now,
okay,
right? And I'm not saying the 100 man cannot take on this one gorilla.
Sure.
Right? But when you see that 4 dudes get ripped up, everybody gonna be like, nah, we're gonna just sit this one out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have to give it to King Kong, the gorilla, for sure. Yeah.
So, but here's the deal. What if it was just a bunch of yous? How many of yous could it take to get it done? Right? Let's say you good. Like life gonna continue on, so you got no real risk here.
Now, well, so hold on. So I mean? Like, so we talking about a straight up fight, fist fight?
Yeah, no weapons.
No weapons.
No weapons.
Woo! Formed against me, huh?
Yeah. See, because I'm not going in there. But you can fight, so maybe you know.
And see, the thing about me, because I heard a lot of fighters, oh man, it only take 5.
That's what I'm saying. I've seen.
I'm gonna have to keep it a buck. I'm gonna have to keep it a whole buck. Realistically, one gorilla, I'm gonna say at least 1,000 of me.
1,000.
1,000.
We
gonna surround you.
Yeah.
And we gonna get on, buddy.
Just swarm
them,
buddy. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like. I gotta come out victorious.
Right.
But 100 though, nah. He gonna eat that 100. He gonna eat that 100. You know what I'm saying? I gotta have some more coming right after that.
We gotta keep it rolling
till he get full. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, 100%.
Oh my gosh, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on, man. June 14th, State Farm Arena. Tickets are on sale right now. Anything you want to say to the fans? What they need to know coming to this fight?
What y'all need to know is if you coming out at State Farm Arena, make sure that you guys buckle up because it's gonna be a ride that it's gonna take y'all for an amazing show.
I'm so excited to have it come back to Atlanta, man. UFC back in Atlanta once again. First time in 6 years. Man on the charge. Very excited to have you here, man.
Thank you.